Welcome to another edition of VoxxVersa, where we flip the script and reveal the real. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Karine Jean-Pierre. She's currently the White House press secretary of the Biden administration, and she was recently asked about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to the question being posed, then we're going to listen to her response in its entirety, and then we're going to pause. So check this out.
It's been put in all sort of different ways. So is the president not in touch with what Americans feel about this issue?
So, look, obviously when it comes to the report more broadly, you just heard from my colleague, Ian Sams, that part of the report we don't think lives in reality, and that's what he was speaking to, where comments were made in that report about that, obviously about his memory that we don't believe lives in reality. And no, I'm going to answer your question. Just give me a beat. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay. Now, she didn't say much other than thank you and have a nice day and walked out of the room. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take what she said and we're going to flip it over and take a look and see if the words coming out of her face made sense with her as a spirit. Okay, what was she thinking in the moment when she said those things? When those things were thrown together to be sounds for us to hear. What have we got? We're going to listen to the whole thing. It's only about 30 or 40 seconds. I captioned it so you can follow along. I listened to it and I was like, that's what she said? This is what I think? This is, ooh, that's good. I made my notes. I popped them on the screen as opposed to just keeping them on paper so you could see them. And this way here, I think it'll make the video a little bit more translatable. Okay? After we watch the whole 30, 40 second clip, we'll rewind it and break it down, and I'll tell you what I think, and we'll discuss it in the comments.
Besteden bezet zag, meer besteden bezet. Finally, first gram out the staat niet staan weer verzekering in het lichaam en in het raam. En het was, ik doe je negera, je mag je doe je negera. Waar ik voor jou stem is dus niet naar de niet gram. En wil be een stukje naar en aan je wat dat niet not is dat dat moest do bad air. Op je niet gram there with you. Staat niet is dat is dat was moest do we that now naar aan is niet dat verkaf en het kwadro voor zo niet dat het kwadro zo maar dan zeg dat net is er waar je de shoppers naar en maar je mix de shoppers naar de man en nee liars wil feel body whether you remember how basic but that but girl for and the amber was them what is niet so we have staan nee liars wil looking at body girl for the better off bad smiles niet maar heel laag maar maar first die nou rom girl for the wish smaak en een wil zich
Okay. So I'm sure you were intrigued. She's got a whole lot going on over there. And absolutely none of it coming out of the gate is about Joe Biden. She sets this up in a funny way. She's got a little bit of a small dog mentality in that room, and she gives you the impression that she always feels like she's being attacked when she's asked the question, okay? And then, those are the types of replies that you get, the jibs and the jabs. So now, in her reply, she comes firing right out of the gate with, imbecile? What was that talk? What was that? Alright, finally. Now, it's almost like she's gearing herself up to answer the question, right?
Besteden bezet zag, meer besteden bezet. Finally, first gram out the staat niet staan weer.
Now, that you very much. It's a little light, which is why I didn't bring it up, but I think it's there.
Investeerder bezag, meer investeerder bezag. Alright, finally, first nigger I'm out of staan weer even in het lichaam en in het raam. And it was, alright,
And she hits you with that pause. Now, we know in the forward she was kind of stumbling a little bit with the speech. And so in the backwards, it would make sense in the reverse that her subconscious is telling her, hey, slow down. I get the impression that when she speaks at the podium, it's very much like there's the speaker and handler within the body. So what's happening here is the handler, the subconscious, is saying, don't worry, Captain, you got this, pause, take a breath, and then you go forward. Now, on the screen, you see the phrases, she says, do I believe, she says, all right, do I believe the negative? You want me to believe the negative, huh? And that's kind of her way of saying, all right, you want me to believe the negative about this report?
in het lichaam en in het raam. And it was, alright, doe negdra, je mag niet doe negdra. I really for now, je meest dus niet naar me, dus is niet geheim, no will be een stuk naar lang.
Then after she says that, then she goes into this thing about scene of the crime, world-based initiative. Not sure how that relates to the forward content, but it's just a couple of phrases I picked up. Could be just she's got a loose leaf binder up there, and her subconscious knows she's bumbling, so it's just throwing out a couple of words, catchphrases that are politically, that are heard in political environments, right? World-based initiative. And then certainly with regards to Biden, the Biden family's scene of the crime, so.
Nee, het is not as up with that moose, no bad air problem. You can hear me there with you, Stocknitties, and say that it is up with it.
You could hand me those Stocknitties. Ooh, interesting. You could hand me those Stocknitties. Now, what's interesting about this clip is that it's really the only time you see her hands moving above the podium, and she basically gestures towards her breasts as she utters that particular phrase. And she says, hand me those stock nitties. Is she saying that I know what my role is here? I'm up here to look good and to deflect, from what's really going on here. Maybe. I don't know.
You can hear me there with you, Stocknitties, and say that it is up with it. Oh, so do we bad math in your own business?
Now, you see that? I said bad math on the caption, but it might be bad mouth, because I'm wondering whether or not, you see what's on the screen now, that end of the project, there is only the budget. Those are the things that I heard. So I'm not certain if it's bad math or bad mouth that gets heard in the interim, because I'm trying to connect it to the previous and what comes next, right? So it could be bad math, could be bad mouth after the Stocknitties.
You can say that it is up with it. Oh, so do we bad math in your own business? Is up with it, but rather for some reason, that's it, rather for some, but no. It's a hat that is up with you. It's chapters 9 and I'm
Now, and it shelters me, it makes it. Now, is she talking about her job? Her job itself, she's like, hey, this shelters me. She's like, you want to know what's going on over here? I'll tell you what's going on over here. This stuff, it shelters me right now.
It's chapters 9 and I'm he makes it chapters 9 and I'm
Then she says, it makes the shelters new. It makes a new, shelters made a modern, is what I had picked up in the, as I read it. Then she says, this is the good stuff over here. Well, as if there wasn't good stuff. all throughout. So, made to lie, you're miserable. Made to lie, you're miserable. That's a good one. Fingers up again.
Why
do you wear the Amenzi hat? Amenzi is a word in like Estonian. It's an old word, Estonian. When I looked it up, it said something to the effect of, fines, violations, and penalties. So it seemed to be referring to policing in some regard. The Amenzi hat. If you know more about that word Amenzi, let me know in the comments. We feel sad. We're looking into more about Biden. We feel saddened. We're looking into more details about Biden. Let's go back again. And we'll see. And we'll see what? And a we'll see what? Oh! What happened? Well, technical difficulties happened and the recording ended. But what I was saying there, I'll say here. In closing, KJP's in a tough spot, right? She's put in a boxing ring on the daily, and she has to spar with these journalists. Now, she's got a job to do, and she's been given things to say. She has her own opinions, and she seems a bit conflicted in this particular instance with regards to whether or not she believes that the stuff that is in that silo of doesn't exist in reality. Does it jive? It doesn't seem to jive with her. So that's my take on this. If you want to see more, keep stopping by, like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions about who we might cover in the future, by all means, drop a link in the comments, and maybe we'll be able to get to it. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this edition of VoxxVersa, and I hope to see you soon.